Good morning, my dear students. I'm Dr. Nutan Yadav from GCW Hisar. Today we are talking about Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. It's a drama by William Shakespeare, it's a well-known drama in English literature. Before going to Twelfth Night, we should discuss some chief characteristics of Shakespearean age. As you know, the age of Shakespeare was also known as the English Elizabethan age. Before starting this, as we did in our last lecture, we should know what is the difference between a novel and a drama. You know, in your last semester, in your BA first final year, in first semester, you did Kanthapura, and in your second semester, you did The Merchant of Venice. The first one, Kanthapura, was a novel, while The Merchant of Venice was a drama. The difference between the two is that no doubt there is this development of story, but in novel it is the development of story through the prose passages. But in drama, we have the progress of story in different dialogues of different characters. This is the main difference between the drama and a novel. Now, The Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare is a drama, no doubt. Before going to drama, we should know what were the chief characteristics of Shakespearean age, English Elizabethan age. Only then we can do justice with this book. No doubt this is a wonderful book of English literature. So before coming to Twelfth Night, we should know something about English Elizabethan age. As we know that this is known as the golden period of English literature. This was the age of vast and the significant changes. These changes were in socio-economic changes. The main changes of this age was, as we know, the Queen Elizabeth was a ruler at the time. She was ruling on the kingdom of England. This was the age. This queen was known as a Virgin Queen because she did not get married. This was the age of political stability. Before that, in the 14th century, we came to know through the history of English literature that there were various wars and even the civil wars in England and all over the world. But in the period of Elizabeth, there was political stability. This was the main reason that the literature flourishes in this period, because there was political stability and the people moved towards the other work of arts, and the main work of art at the time was the literature. Again, there was the development of printing press. The result of the development of printing press was that the many books were published, and these books were distributed among the various peoples, and many authors came out from this, and no doubt Mr. Shakespeare is one of them. Then the other main changes of this time is that the various people sailed various parts of the world. The result is discovery of various nations and the British colonization. Various colonies were established by England, and the various nations, even the Columbus discovered America, and in this way it was a big progress and the world was becoming one. This was again considered as English Renaissance. How it is Renaissance means rebirth. Renaissance was started in Italy, but no doubt epicenter of Renaissance was Italy, but it was this period of 1558 to 1603, which we consider English Elizabethan age in our literature, history of English literature. So this period is also known as English Renaissance. How it's a Renaissance in English? Because the authors and the writers were converting towards paying attention towards Greek and Roman civilization. This was the age of cultural diffusion. Cultural diffusion means from the one center to the division of the power, a division of the knowledge from the various part of the world. So this happened in Elizabethan age. Now, this was the age of humanism. Before Elizabethan age, supreme power was with the church, and the church was considered very important as compared to human beings. But in the Elizabethan age, because it was period of political stability, it was a period of economic upliftment, it was a period of peace and prosperity. So the humans are given dignity. It was first time considered that the humans have dignity, they have power, and they have realization. So this age was the age of self-respect, self-realization, and the human dignity. Now the rise of middle class, in this age we find that the before that in 14th century we saw that in England and more all over the world we find that there was only rural party or the lower class. But in this period there was the rise of middle class. Women are given important works in the society, and there was the rise of education, rise of various fields, development of various arts. So the new category in the society appeared, that was middle class. Then the transformation from the medieval religion belief to the modern nation. In this age, the modern medieval religious belief, that the belief of the church is moving towards a modern thinking and modern rationalization. This was the age of self-realization, self-respect, boldness of thought and actions. Now the significant development in theatre also, as we see that William Shakespeare was a great dramatist, great writer, as well as he was a great actor. So these in these categories, in these characteristics, we find that all these are depicted in the works of Shakespeare also. Now, the chief characteristics of Shakespeare's writing is, after knowing all this, we come to the Shakespeare's writing, in main part of the Shakespearean writing, and this from this point of view we will study Twelfth Night. Now, the Shakespeare writing is the eternal Shakespeare. Now, the eternal Shakespeare is that the Shakespeare belongs to 1550, approximate that period, and even after 500 years, we are studying Shakespeare in our literature in 21st century, and he is more dominating, and we cannot ignore this writer only because of that internal Shakespeare. He has a deep understanding of human nature. Then the main characteristics, another characteristics of his writing is that his characters are realistic characters. He gives the blood and flesh to his characters, and it seems that this is not the story of Hamlet, this is not the story of King Lear. In fact, this is the story of a common human being also. So various characters, various type of characters, and all the characters real appear in his dramas. Then the vivid characterization, it's not that he is talking about the king and the queens, and it's not that he's only trying to please the high society of the of England, but in fact he is representing the various factors, various sections of the society. So we have a big galleries of characters in his drama. We have Shylock, we have Hamlet, Othello, Portia, Villa, and even the Falstaff, his crowns and his very fool characters. Then we have moral artistry. Moral artistry, he brings out evils and goods in his character. That's why we find that there's poetic justice in Shakespeare's play. Now, what is this poetic justice? Is virtue is rewarded and the vices false. This is the faults and vices are defeated, like that. Okay, and this is automatically comes in a story. He does not brings this forcefully, but he brings out automatically in his dramas. Now, the other chief characteristics of Shakespearean drama is the poetry and philosophy. We see that whatever he writes in a poetic form, and it is a very natural process, and it is in blank verse. So it's not that he is trying to be poet, he is a poet himself, and through this poetry he brings out philosophy. Then the other point is that Shakespeare is an artist. From his dramas, we come to know that he's an artist. He's an inborn artist. By birth, he's an artist. He does not need any rules and the conscious analysis to tell what is good and what is evil. He tells whatever is in his mind, and it automatically becomes poetic justice. Last point I have added, poetic justice. Poetic justice means, this is a very important phrase that is related to Shakespeare. Poetic justice means voices are punished and the virtues are rewarded. All of his dramas depict that. This brings out the moral values that the voices will automatically will be punished and the virtues will be rewarded. These are the main characteristics of not only one drama but all the dramas. Shakespeare wrote 37 dramas in his lifetime and 154 sonnets. And in all his dramas, he brings out poetic justice, he brings about moral artistic values, and it is written in a poetic and the philosophical way. He is an artist. We do not need any rules, regulations, and all this. And in this way, we have the very big gallery of, and it is a mirror of society. Now, Shakespeare's lifespan can be divided into the four periods. One is 1500 to 1595. This was the period of his experiments. It was the beginning of his life, beginning of his literary life, and he was just experimenting what is his writing. 1595 to 1600, he tried the historical plays, and 1600 to 1608, it was the best period of his life as a dramatist, and he wrote his four wonderful tragedies, that's Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth, and the many comedies. And one of the comedy we have with us in our syllabus, that is the Twelfth Night, we will do afterwards. And the fourth period was 1608 to 1611. This was the period of romantic plays, and very gently and very relaxing way he wrote all these plays of his later period. Now the best work, I have just collected the best work of Shakespeare, As You Like It, Twelfth Night, Much Ado About Nothing, The Merchant of Venice. These are the best comedies. Then we have tragedies, Othello, Hamlet, King Lear, and Macbeth. This is all about this video. After that, we will talk about the story, various characteristics, various characterization, plot constructions of Twelfth Night. Thank you. Only 3 minutes किया।
शुरू होगी, 1 सेकंड देना है। शुरू हो गया भैया अब।